Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
There's always just that active red line defenders. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. Just as Ian Wright said there, people deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're doing well and safe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. So yeah, I hope you lot around the world tuning in are doing well and safe. Thank you very much for tuning back in. If you haven't smashed the like button and subscribed, make sure you do that. Every one of you does that. The nation grows out there, and we trick the YouTube algorithm to boost our nation, people. So yeah, let's get into it, people. I'm happy that the international break, and I'm sure a lot of you will echo my thoughts, is coming to a close. David Raya is giving an interview in The Athletic. David Raya interview, taking risks at Arsenal, Arteta influence, Ramsdale relationship. Let's scroll all the way down and just focus specifically on what David Raya, who's taking Aaron Ramsdale's place, has had to say. Hopefully Aaron Ramsdale gets a start against Italy, because, starts are very hard to come by for country, for Ramsdale, and now for club with the man in question, David Raya. Raya has said, yes, I have taken an important step at club level. I am at one of the most important clubs in the world, so that's an incentive, and it gives you pride competing in the Champions League, which was one of my objectives. Scrolling all the way down to see further what the man said. Yes, I would have done it yesterday if I could. In the summer, both personally and as a club, we wanted to leave Brentford. So that tells you he was always moving, and he was linked with Chelsea and Spurs previously. I had 1 year left on my contract at the club, and I wanted to take the step. Then I had the opportunity to sign for Arsenal. Since then, he's joined us on a kind of loan to get around FFP's. Technically signed a new deal at Brentford. We all know it will turn into a permanent. He's Arteta's number one, and Thomas Frank has said as much in less words, really and truly. When signing for Arsenal, he said, I had a few conversations with Mikel before making the signing because it was complicated, the financial issue and so on, which we just talked about with the loan. He was one of the coaches I wanted to work with, his philosophy, how he has transformed Arsenal with the way he has played, and it was very important to have him as a coach. I'm going to fight for it. Arteta gives me the confidence to be there, that he wanted to have two top players in each position, and it was up to me to find the time and to fight to get the minutes. I don't want to think beyond that. If there are rotations, as there are in any position, I'm going to help on and off the pitch. Very mature words from David Raya. The relationship in relation to Ramsdale is very good. At the end of the day, we are mates, which is the most important thing. We have a very healthy relationship. There are no problems. We push each other every single day in training. When he's a little bit down, I push him. And when I'm a little bit down, he does the same. We train 3 goalkeepers, 4 at the most, for hours a week. And you need that kind of relationship, because otherwise the training is not going to go well. And that's true. You need to put your own personal opinion. Of course, David Raya wants to play, Ramsdale wants to play. Naturally, you're gonna be disappointed and not feel as important. Or, it's like, and you lot in your 9 to 5s, or me on YouTube, every day you're not at your brilliant best, but you have to find a way to get through it, really. Which is why I thank a lot of you lot, people, because you lot do give me a boost. Big up you lot, smash the like button. Competition, it is what it is. As I always say, leave your ego at the door. Want to play, feel disheartened that Arteta doesn't trust you to start and whatnot, but channel that in the right way. The collective comes first, and if the collective means, David Raya playing, this guy playing, that guy playing, then so be it. It's down to you to prove Arteta wrong, really, and make Arteta doubt himself in a good way. So I think that's very mature from Raya. At the end of the day, Raya and Ramsdale, they're not number ones for their countries, but they're in the scene. I'm sure they want to play every game. I'm sure they want to play in the Euros, or be a part of it. I'm sure Mikel Arteta is playing some exciting football. Arsenal are finally moving along. Why would you not want to be part of that, really and truly? Looking back at my own Sunday League career, being on the bench, it made me feel like and it is quite immature. It still to this day does. It feels like you're not a part of it. It feels like you're not playing. It feels like I haven't played, but you need to put your ego, you have an ego. You need an ego in life, but the collective comes first. He then went on to say, I don't like to look to the future. I like to look at it day to day, but the perfect end would be to win a title with Arsenal. to be called up to the national team for the European Championship and to have a good tournament. Scrolling all the way down, he said, if City is not the best team in the world, they are one of the best teams, especially in pressing and the transitions. So we had to play a bit more direct, so to speak. In the first half, we tried to play a bit more from the back with some scares. In the second half, we changed the way we played to lure them a bit more. But the possibility we had to look back for their defense with direct balls, we hurt them a lot. And you know what? I give Raya credit because it's all fun and games being a ball playing goalie or being ball playing defenders when you've got all the time in the world. When you're playing a team great on the transition, great on the press like City, naturally there's going to be a couple hairy moments. But I like the fact that David Raya had conviction to keep trying those difficult passes, and for every terrible pass or scare he had, equally had many good moments, and to keep sticking to what the gaffer has told you, really, even if he thought, you know, humanly, boy, I need to just clear it and things like that. So yeah, I think that's true, man. And the temperament when the crowd is booing you or groaning or whatever because you're doing that, to keep going, really. And at the end of the day, we got a clean sheet against City. I don't think we'll be able to say that too many times, but one time we did. It's something I have internalized, but it's also the coach's orders. What he doesn't want is for us to start hitting balls. We have to invite an opponent to press, to come out a little bit. I'm the free man. And once a striker or someone jumps me, that leaves a free man on the pitch, and we have to look for superiority. That's the way the coach tells me to play. The fans aren't used to us goalies having the ball for a long time. I disagree a bit. Since Arteta's come in, we've kind of quote unquote getting used to that, but I hear it. And if the opponent don't press, you have to wait for the moment to pass the ball. It's a risk that we take, but I take that responsibility. If one day there's a mistake, I'll raise my hands. There's no way around it. Big him up for that. My grandfather Hakeem has been a very important figure because he was the one who took me to training many nights in Cornellà, which is a town on the outskirts of Barcelona. To have my grandfather at the presentation of a club like Arsenal, which is so familiar, well known, and the detail they had with him to give him the shirt, sign it, and have him there, that is a source of pride, and he was delighted. Big up Granddad. You can see that at the presentation he gets emotional and a couple of tears come to his eyes, but after that he was super happy and watches all the games at home with my father when they can't go to London. Big up your dad and Granddad. Right now I don't have it in mind. Would I like to play in La Liga? Yes, of course, but at the moment I'm at Arsenal. I'm very happy, and we'll see what happens in the next few years. So of course, naturally he's going to have to fit that. But 27 years of age, that's still very young for a goalie, but that tells you, you know, I don't know how long you're going to be here, people. Kyle Walker has opened up on the confrontation with one of our coaching staff. Now, obviously, Kyle Walker, you're a sour guy. But what I would say, to be fair to him, you know, you have to be gracious in defeat and things like that. But in theory, what good losers are there? Obviously, he's an ex-Spurs man, so I would have loved to have seen him thumped up. I don't know why him, Haaland, and Phil Foden are trying to, you know, be some scary WWE dons. But I get it. Emotions are high. You know what it could mean. Nobody likes to lose a game. And to be fair, if Nicholas Hover didn't shake them man's hand, and to be fair, then the coaching staff could have seen last game that wasn't the right way, and he tried to rectify it. I can understand why Walker feels like this. What I will say is, you know, it takes a man to come out and say you was moving mad, really. I don't like losing. A couple of matches before, Nico, who worked for Man City, he did not want to shake hands when we beat them before, when we lost. He wanted to shake my hand, and I did not take it lightly. Simple as that. So he was really just projecting, really and truly. He then said he'd reach out. He said, I have been concentrating in England, but I will probably reach out to him. Definitely, I will say it was probably a bit too much. It shows the standards I have achieved and what I've learned over the years. It's a big match there, and losing in the way we did and so late on hurts. But if it did not hurt, I am probably at the wrong club, as we are title contenders. I don't think anyone can disagree with what Kyle Walker has said there. Benjamin White could be signing a new deal despite having 3 months left on his deal. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed so far, and let me know your thoughts on Benjamin White. At 26 years of age, it makes sense if we can get a 4-year deal with an option of a 5th and tie him down. I wouldn't say he's one of our most underappreciated players, but I do think him and Big Gabby, our centre back, they don't always get the flowers they deserve, people, especially in the City game where, you know, the talks are about Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Tomiyasu's impact off the bench, Martinelli's impact off the bench, coping without Saka, Jesus. Benjamin White was someone that maybe if Doku played would have tore him a new one, but they were saying he would be stressed out, and he came out of it with a source of pride. Benjamin White, don't understand why he's not in the England squad personally, but one tonic I use for that headache is it's clearly not a footballing decision. It's nothing to do with Benjamin White's ability or his form, because if that was the case, he'd be in the England squad. Then for some Benjamin White that plays near enough week in, week out, and he's going to have to play, at least he can rest his legs. It's actually nice to see Martinelli, Saka, and Benjamin White rested. It's also nice to see Nketiah get a cap for England. England if that's what he wants to do. And obviously, Big Gabby scored his first goal for Brazil. Arsenal have held positive contract talks with Ben White as they continue to work on tying down core players of the squad. Big him up because we've done that with big them up, sorry, because we've done that with Odegaard, Saliba, Martinelli, Saka, and Ramsdale, ironically, and probably I'm missing out a few, Nelson and Nketiah. It's nice to not have contract rumblings. You know, it will happen again. Every club goes for it. Gundogan at City left for free, so these things do happen. But you know, definitely in Saliba's case, you know, we've seen in previous years, maybe not someone of the caliber of Saliba, but a season like this, you know, contract not signed, every week he's staying, he's going, he's staying, he's going. So on one hand, I don't want to praise the club for doing what we should be doing, you know, really and truly. But on the other hand, it's nice and refreshing to see that these things are being done and there's a proactive approach across every fragment of this football club now, from the players to the executives to Mikel Arteta, so on and so forth, people. The Gunners have made contract renewals for key players a major priority under Mikel Arteta, and over the past 12 months, they've secured the future of several stars. Ramsdale, Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Odegaard and Saliba have all signed new deals. Arsenal are now turning their attentions to White, who has been one of the side's most consistent performers since joining from Brighton for 50 million in 2021. Nobody cares about the price tag no more, just like nobody cares about what Declan Rice costs because they're doing the business. The defender still has just under 3 years to run on his current deal, which again shows a position of strength because there's more wiggle room versus if he was in the last 12 or 18 months. As has been the case with other key players, there's an acceptance he should be rewarded for his fine form. Facts, really. White joined Arsenal as a centre-back and played there during his first season. A bit incorrect because coming to Arsenal at Brighton and Leeds, he showed he can be a centre-back and a right-back. Obviously, he was, you know, him and Gabriel, that was a centre-half pairing when Benjamin White was here. Obviously, with Saliba's emergence, Benjamin White has reverted back to fullback. And, you know, if you're able to lock down centre half, if you're able to lock down fullback, that's great to have him, Timber and Tomiyasu that can cover the back four, and you know, Kirill could be thrown into that, and just generally just have some decent defensive options now and stuff like that is great for Arsenal Football Club. Big up Benjamin White, people, really. And Arteta is obviously going to be a big fan. He has been a very consistent player for us. I think he's got the character of a proper fighter and a character we need in the squad, especially at this level, and I'm really happy for him. Big him up on that. Charlie Patton, happy birthday, but a couple of days ago he spoke in the Daily Mail about potentially emulating William Saliba at 20 years of age, building on his loan spell at Blackpool now, doing well at Swansea. Hopefully the pathways open up for him. You know, with Jorginho, you'd imagine Lokonga's not got a future here unless a miracle happens. Jorginho's not going to probably be here in the next 2 years. Partey could depart as well, depending on the contract. And obviously El Nene, I do think we need to bring in a midfielder or two. But it'd be nice to integrate a fellow Halem boy, obviously via Luton. I want to keep racking up the numbers and helping the team to get as high as possible. Swansea is a massive club, got a big history. We're in the Premier League a couple of years ago, and we want to get them back to where they belong, which would be great. And obviously, Swansea is a good place to be for a footballer because there isn't too much to do outside of playing football for Swansea. It's not like London with the nightlife. So you're going to have to really just focus, really. Not that I'm saying that's an issue of Charlie's. I remember at Blackpool last year playing against them, the toughest game that I've ever played in. So to be playing for them this season is really just an amazing feeling, people. And then he then spoken on, you know, Saka and Smith Rowe, giving him 1 or 2 tips. He said, training with them every day has helped me develop on and off the pitch. It made me really confident. I kept going back and it felt like I was part of the first team because I was learning under them. They've got some real leaders like Odegaard, like Bakayo. He's come through the ranks, and getting advice from him and Smith Rowe has been really good. When I first went over to train with the first team, Emil, Eddie and Bakayo, they came over to me, put their arms around my shoulder and just said, enjoy yourself, play with a smile and just express yourself. Facts, really and truly. He then went on to speak about Saliba. Saliba is a different player to me. He's a centre-back, big, powerful. So for me, it's inspiring to see someone from Arsenal being able to go on loan, make a name for himself and come back and show his qualities at Arsenal because it's a massive club. And you've seen that before. Obviously, it's a bit different, but previously to Arteta, El Nene went on loan. He's back involved. Smith Rowe went on loan. He's come back in. Eddie Nketiah went on loan. He's come back in. Nelson went on loan. He's come back in. You know, Balogun went on loan. He hasn't quite come back in, but he's cutting a career for himself in Monaco. So it is nice to see we're having more success from loan spells, people. In that regards, people. Make a name for himself and come back and show his qualities at Arsenal because it's a massive club. Physically is one of the main aspects I want to improve, which him being 20 and now developing into a man's body, it is probably now time to focus a bit on the gym and stuff. He's got the technical ability locked down. Now it's just about getting the tactical demands of what a manager or managers demand of you throughout your career. And physically, he's still only 20, but yeah, you do need a certain robustness, people. I go in and do extra recovery, extra gym sessions to better myself as a player. I think it's it's important because I want to step up and be a Premier League player. The games are a lot quicker now, and you have to be ready for 1v1 duels and battles that happen all over the pitch. Despite not being a physical player, I think he shows a willingness to muck in the Championship and put himself in for a 50-50 tackle, as shown last season, people, really and truly. He then said on Swansea, they're a possession-based team, and I like having the ball in passing and progressive team. We want to play progressive football. It's fast, and we can get on the ball up the pitch and want to keep on doing that. I like playing under pressure. These are fantastic words from him. I think the strength and depth is really important. You can see the likes of Man City and what they have. So for Arsenal to have that as well, they can be real title contenders. He then said, everybody's journey is different, but Kyle went straight from the academy to the first team. Eddie went on a few loans. I mean, Eddie went on one, but I get it. Emil went on a few loans, which he went to Leipzig and obviously Huddersfield, and Huddersfield's the one he made his name. So everyone's journey is different, but ultimately it's about getting where you want to get to, and that's the same for me. I want to play in the first team at Arsenal, and being here is a massive pathway to help me do that, which I hope can happen. Hopefully we can get his contract tied down. Hopefully he can get into the first team. As Arteta said, slow cook him, just because even if he doesn't break into the first team next season, I don't think it's that deep. I would love for him to get a Premier League loan if that isn't the case, but of course I'd love to see him integrated, people. Big up Charlie Patino. So let me know your thoughts on everything Patino has said there. Let me know your thoughts on what we've seen with Benjamin White, obviously Kyle Walker and David Raya. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. One love for tuning in. Smash the like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bells. Peace.
There's always just that active red flag. Defenders, I think, is like